everybody to the I Cut My Own Hair podcast. This is Dre. This is Bill, aka Green Lotus, aka J Money, aka I Might Elbow You, aka Black and Thailand,
aka Black Boy Bang Yisik,
aka that and all that. This is my first guest, hopefully of many. Friend of mine, been watching this journey since how long now? I feel like
6 years, 6 or 7.
damn.
6 or 7.
Damn, it's been that long?
Yeah, because.
Cause you had hair when I cut. No, we had hair at the same time.
Then I started growing my hair, and you.
Right. Yeah, and then wow.
You cut yours, and I was just now getting to my ugly face.
That's what it was.
Just got out my ugly face.
Yeah, the ugly phase is real, bro. The ugly phase, like when you growing locks, the ugly phase. Cause you walk out the crib and you be like, I swear to God, I'm cute.
Bro, y'all just wait, man. She gonna be swinging.
Yo, I'm gonna just be here with it.
You be touching it all the time, but it's.
And the first time you swing, you can swing your hair, it's over. You just, for no reason now, you just walk through the spot. And then Chief Keef, and they
don't like.
Yeah, it was all day. Chief Keef kind of brought my confidence back. Shout out to him.
Bang bang.
Yeah, but this is, like I said, this is a homie, friend, brother. Been living out in Thailand for how long? Like 4 years now?
I've been here for just over 3 years.
For God, I don't know time. Okay. So about 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And you've lived in Phuket for how long?
I've lived in Phuket specifically for just over 2 years. For 2 years, pretty much.
2 years, okay. And then where were you at first?
Before Phuket, I lived in Chiang Mai, up north in Chiang Mai. I lived there for about a year.
Uh-huh.
But some of my training camps, I did in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Because they just had more boys to like clinch with.
Right. It's wild how strong Thai children are.
Yeah, bro.
Thai boys are built different. Like even now, like just moving with some of the kids, you just be like, y'all couldn't have been a bully back then because y'all would have beat me up.
And they have no muscle. They don't got no muscles, no nothing. You never know.
Nothing. And what's also crazy about that is like when you see them and then they look at you, they be like, oh, and then they work out and they be like struggling. You like, yo, but you just punched me though. Like,
but their kicks are like.
Yeah. Like yo, you can hit me harder than I can hit you, but somehow you can't lift this weight.
Yeah. It's true. That's true.
Yeah, the science of it is wild. So like, what got you into Thai?
Thai specifically, so like as a kid I was always into martial arts no matter what it was.
Okay.
And then when I got my first job, so I was like 16.
Okay.
When I got my first job, I went to an MMA gym because that's like really what I knew, and I loved like Anderson Silva. Right. So I went
living in Ohio.
Yeah, and living in Ohio. So I got my first job. I could afford a gym membership. Bam, went to an MMA gym, and then from there, all the people at the MMA gym would say, oh man, when I was in high school, I wish I would have wrestled. Everybody at the MMA gym. So I was a sophomore at that time. I was like, damn, okay, next year I'm going to wrestle. Mm-hmm. So my junior and senior year, I wrestled, and I fell in love with wrestling. Like, I fell in love with the grind, like how difficult it was. Because I played football my whole life as a kid, up until high school. I quit the football team to do wrestling, and I just fell in love with how hard it was. And then, and then I had to change gyms. So this is when I met you, actually. My gym had shut down that I was training in Delaware where I was staying. So I went to a gym in Columbus.
Right.
Ronin.
Yeah, Ronin.
And so I started training MMA, and I just tried a Muay Thai class there. And I tried a class with Coach Boggs, and I was just like, damn, I really like this. And then I looked up some videos of like what Muay Thai was, and I was like, this is what I want. Like MMA was cool, but Muay Thai was like, it had everything. So that's what happened.
Yeah, I remember you being in one MMA class. I remember that. Like I vividly remember that. Now did you say that? And then like I remember like when you got into Thai because you was like, nah, I'm doing this, and then just was studying everything, like reading Thai, learning Thai. While sitting in Columbus, Ohio, there's no ties. There's not one tie, maybe a tie. Albert is our friend Albert. Probably just Albert. And then just going from there. So from that really like brought you into the sport?
Yeah, definitely training under Coach Boggs and like having people who were just better than me. Like you know what I mean by having people who are better than you, that motivates you.
Yeah.
Like that motivates you. Getting beat up by people motivates you to like get better. So like being at the gym with you guys, you, Bryce, and a bunch of other guys who used to beat me up, Justin Fry, that really motivated me to like, damn, I wanna get really good at this. And then I was watching all these videos of fights, Sanchai, and you know everybody you look up. And then Sanchai came to the gym.
Yeah.
And so like all these little steps like solidified. Like, damn, I wanna really. And I never had one thing that I really put my absolute everything into. You know, I was hitting that age where I was like, okay, I'm like an adult. Like, what's gonna be my thing? You know,
What's gonna like solidify you as a person?
Yeah, and like even in football, you know, I was just like a black kid growing up with other black kids. We all play football.
Yeah, touchdown.
Yeah. Just start naming random.
Yeah, word, field goal.
Red zone.
Yeah, what? Jerry Rice. Just 9 random. You know, OSU, right? Yeah, word.
Go Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks.
But even that, I was nice at it and I worked hard, but I never really put my everything into it. And then when I did wrestling, my wrestling coach, like this man, he's the man who like changed my life. Like I remember when I quit the football team and I went to him and I told him I want to do wrestling. And he like sat me down in this room, this white dude, Coach Josh Heffernan. He sat me down.
Man.
Yes, Joshua Heffernan. He sat me down. I never forget it. He said, if you choose to join my wrestling team, this will be the most important decision you've ever made in your life. And this dude didn't even really know me at this time. I didn't know him. And he said that to me, and in my head, I'm like, shut up, this old white dude talking to me. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to wrestle. I'm an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
But it was true because like at this time, just last year, I had gotten problems with the court. You know, I was like fighting, just doing all the ignorant stuff.
Yeah.
So even my first year of wrestling, I had to leave because I had like 200 hours of community service that I had to do. 200 hours of community service. So like, and he changed my life, bro. Every day before wrestling practice, right after school, we all sat down. Before we even started training, we sat down and we had like a word for the week. Today this week is integrity. And he'd ask us, okay, like what does integrity mean? You. Everybody give whatever definition they think integrity is. And he would bring up the actual definition of integrity. And he'd read it. And so, damn, now, me, growing up, no one ever told me what integrity meant.
Right.
I just used context clues in life. You know? Touchdown. Jerry Rice. And so that time, damn, he talked about these words: responsibility, teamwork, hard work, like self-accountability. He talked about these words, and I was like, damn, I want to be self-accountable. Damn, I want to have integrity. Like, I want to have those things. Like, he instilled in me this, like...
He wanted you to embody those things.
Yeah, I wanted to stand. I wanted to be a man. That's what he made
10 toes down.
Yes, he wanted me to stand 10 toes. So after that, like, whatever, and then wrestling ended after high school, and then I found Muay Thai, and I was like, damn, like, okay, this is gonna be my thing. And ever since then, I've just been, like, trying to put my everything into it.
Yeah, that's a great transition as far as from wrestling to Thai, especially when you consider the sports, like, because obviously America, like, we have basketball, we have baseball, we have soccer, but everybody else goes to football. We have soccer and all these other things, but I would say American wrestling is the closest thing to Muay Thai as far as like comparability, because they both take a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of like effort, and it takes a lot of ability to lose self as far as your ego. Yeah. Because you could wrestle and be like 0-40, but you could still be a monster.
You could still be great.
Yeah.
It just depends on who you're going up against.
Yeah, you just have
There's a lot of people who are 40-0 and are trash.
Yeah.
Because they pick who they go up against.
Yeah, and I would say that that's a wonderful way to. He's a dope dude. Do you still have any contact with him?
Yes, Josh Heffernan was one of the coaches. The other coaches was Josh Lamb. They both of those men were amazing, and I still, when I went back last year to USA, I went and hung out with Josh Lamb. I had messaged Coach Hef to see if he could hang out, but he was busy at that time.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good that you still keep in contact with him. And then Boggs, well, you already know Boggs is still around, just being grumpy. So he's he's the funniest. And I would say, as far as like somebody that helped me understand like wanting to do the sport and take it more serious, I would say Boggs. He's been a great example of that. Like because he's super dedicated. He just really trying so hard to get Thai in America.
Yes.
Like so hard.
And it's so interesting because in my life, I've been an athlete for a long time in my life, and I've had many great coaches. Mm-hmm. I've had like some bad coaches, but all of the great coaches that I've had, their coaching habits were so different. Like from Joshua Heffernan in high school, my wrestling coach, to Boggies, they're like night and day. But they're both like great, amazing coaches.
Gotcha.
Amazing.
I think that just comes with like personality, because from Josh, he sounds like a principal.
Yeah, he's almost like, I don't know, sometimes he was just like the high priest, you know?
Yeah.
And like if you missed a training or if you did something wrong, you didn't even want to look at him in the eyes, you know?
Yeah.
He was just like,
yeah,
it was like,
that's what he sounds like. Like Boggs is more like he's like a uncle dad. Kind of like he's like a friend, uncle, dad kind of person. Like you you feel comfortable talking to him about anything, and at the same time you will listen to him about everything.
Yeah.
And I think that really, like, as far as I don't know Mr. Downs, but that's what it sounds like as far as like a comparison of the two. Mm-hmm. So like, since you getting into the sport and now being a full-time Thai fighter, where do you see yourself? Like, I don't want to ask like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? More so, where do you see yourself in the sport? Like, what do you want to leave the sport with when you're finished?
What do I want to leave the sport with when I'm finished? One, a stadium title. Whether it be Lumpini, Raja Damner, Omnoy, these are the big stadiums in Muay Thai, for people who don't know. If I can get one of these. So one wise person once said, John Wayne Parr, he's like, getting a stadium title is like getting your black belt in Muay Thai, because in Muay Thai there's no real like belt system. So like, but man, that's kind of unfair because it's so hard to get. Even in jiu-jitsu, you could just do jiu-jitsu for 20 years. If you suck, you might still get your black belt.
You're true. You just gotta show up.
You could do Muay Thai for 100 years and never win a stadium title, and you could even still be good.
Yeah, you'd be a monster.
So it's not even. It's like getting your like, I don't know. It's not. It's unequivocal. A stadium title. It's not even a black belt. It has to be more than that. So I would love to get a stadium title, just for myself, for my own personal ego. Mm-hmm. But other than that, Muay Thai has already given me a lot of things. It's given me a lot of good friends. It's taken me to a lot of places, countries to fight and to meet people. So I mean, just money now, Muay Thai. I don't want much from you, just money.
Yeah, just cash me out.
Just pay me when I fight and pay me when I teach.
Touchdown. Jerry Rice. Just cash me out. I think that, that is, I feel like in comparison, because there is no belts in Thai, even though there are some places like in the States that do sell belts, or like they sell shorts.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, and honestly, I do like that there's no way that you can identify the level of a person, quote unquote, so to speak, with Thai. You just have to actually deal with them as far as like spar with them or clinch with them to know. Because like, for me, I feel like there's an air that some people tend to hold when they hold a certain belt or hold certain things. And it's like, at the end of the day, that doesn't really mean anything. Like, I think that I tend to tell people like that when they come to Ronin Training Centers in Ohio, that's where we started at, and where I'm still at. Yeah, I got the T on. But a lot of people will come in and they'll be kind of, iffy about wanting to be there if they've never done martial arts before. And so I always tell them, like, this place is a gym that happens to have fighters in it, but we still are like a family, and you always want to leave your ego at the door, because you need to understand, regardless of who you are or where you are within this gym, anybody at any given time could possibly kill you. Because you can have that person could be having a great day, and you could be having one of your bad days, and they can destroy you on the mat. So you might as well just be nice. And I think, like, when it comes to like belts and stuff, sometimes people get caught up, and that's not a knock on jiu-jitsu, because I love jiu-jitsu and judo and all the other arts that you wear a belt in. But I feel like with Thai, just like wrestling, there is no way that you know until you know.
Until you know.
Yeah. And so your experience, actually, not your experience, you just got to fight at like one, which is like basically the UFC Asia. Like it's pretty.
Asia,
it's the UFC Asia. How was that?
It was really nice. It was really nice to fight for one championship. I like how they take care of the fighters. Like when you go, just as soon as you show up to the hotel from your flight, they have your name, they have your information, they have shuttles back and forth to like the hospitals because you got to get a bunch of checks before you fight. They check your eyes, your heart, your brain, your everything. And then it was just when promotions treat you with that much respect, it makes you feel valued as a fighter. You know, it makes you feel more than just like fight, get my money and leave. It's like, like I have some type of status. I don't know, maybe it just grooms your ego or like rubs your ego a little bit. But you feel better when they treat you like that.
Like they're invested in you.
Yeah, they're investing in you. That was really nice. But just some things I didn't like is just, which if you're a foreigner, you're probably a foreigner watching.
Yeah, more than likely a foreigner.
And you're gonna fight in
Thailand.
And you're gonna fight in Thailand, like it's just I didn't like all the hands that my money had to get to me. It took like a week for me to get paid, and like everybody has to get their cuts before I get my pay.
Yeah.
I didn't like that as much. Like when I fight at Raja, after my fight, I take my ID to the window and they pay me my money in my hand, and I split with my trainer, I split with my gym, I split with whoever. Yeah. But there it's like they paid, I don't know, and that person took his cut, gave it to I don't know, and eventually, so that kind of made me feel bad. And honestly, if I don't fight there, I won't be upset. Like I said, my main goal is stadium title. That's why I started Muay Thai, and yeah, that's what I want.
And I mean, you're at a weight that's a very like possible thing, because what are you, like 132?
Yeah. So now I fight 133 because I don't want to cut weight anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a pretty stacked weight class, but like thank God I've been, moving up. I've done a lot of good fights, and honestly, like the fans who watch Muay Thai, they like me because I can speak Thai and I smile. I'm not like trying to be a hard, trying to be tough. Yeah. I smile and I talk, so it gives me more opportunities. Like, if you're gonna fight in Thailand, like smile. Don't forget to smile. It'll open up like
doors, so
many doors. Just give a smile. Learn some Thai. That also opens up many doors.
Yeah. I mean, I would say because you're super fluent. Like, I mean, they ate up. How many times? So speaking of all that, I'm kind of jumping my words. So when you were on one, you got to interview and whatnot. How excited were they that you spoke Thai fluently?
They were pretty hyped. Like, I mean, because a lot of Thai people can speak English, but a lot of them, 90%, they're not confident at all. Right. Like, they'll speak English, but if they find out you can speak some Thai, they're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Yeah. So yeah, they like interviewed me, and they're just like, okay, fine. Like they could relax, they could relax and just and have an interview. Okay,
and from that, like, getting fluent in Thai, how long did it take you? Like, well, because obviously it's still a process, still learning more and whatnot.
Yeah. So like, if fluency, I'll define a fluency really quick. So, like, if we're talking fluency to just have an idea in my head and speak it. Mm-hmm. Oh, first I'll say this: functional fluency, meaning if I need to go to the restroom, if I need directions, if I need to do something, right? Not chit chat, not gossip about whatever, but if I need something, to get to that type of fluency, it took me maybe like, I'd say a year and a half. Okay. It could be shorter, but remember I was here during COVID. In my first year almost of living here, Thai people thought I was the devil. Like America treated Asians during COVID, the Thai people thought that of Westerners here in Thailand at the same time. Yeah. So I didn't really have anyone to talk to practice. Right. So it took me about a year and a half to get to like a functional fluency. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And so now you feel, like I said, I've seen it, and then obviously from your interview that you're able to speak it. And when you are conversing with like Thai people and being and whatnot, are you gaining different kind of dialects from? Because I know like different parts of Thailand they speak the same language but don't necessarily speak the same language kind of thing.
Yeah, so this country has 5 different languages, 4 mostly. So you have the central dialect, which is like it's the Bangkok dialect. Mm-hmm. And if you go to school, this is what they're gonna teach you in school. Like if you're a Thai kid and you go to school, you're gonna learn central dialect. Uh-huh. But the northern Thailand has a dialect. Northeastern Thailand has a dialect. Southern Thailand has its dialect, right? So that there's 4 different dialects. One being the one you're gonna see on TV and learn in school. But it's hard. But mostly everybody in the country can speak central dialect. So if you learn Thai and you learn the central dialect, then you can speak with like what
And that's usually, like you said, that's the school stuff.
Yeah,
That's
that's what you're gonna learn.
Yeah, because Uban, what is it? Isan language is different.
And living in Uban, which it's a border country, Isan. So you're bordering Cambodia, and you're very close to Laos. And so the language there, they call it Laos. Like they don't say you're speaking Isan, they say you're speaking Laos.
Yeah.
Right. So it's there's even inside those dialects, there's even many more. Even in the South, there's like multiple Southern dialects. People here in Phuket are gonna speak different than people in Surat, which is like 4-hour drive away.
And from so being able to speak those different dialects, being able to speak Thai and understanding those different dialects, have you run into any kind of problems having conversations with people where they are Thai, they're speaking Thai to you, but because of where they're from, they like, huh?
Yeah, we have the trainer here. He's a younger guy. He can't speak Central Thai.
Huh.
He only speaks Southern. And so when I talk to him, I'm like, yo, what are you... In his Southern accent, it's so thick. And he speaks at the rate of, you already understand me. I haven't told him, like, listen, you need to slow... Like, but yeah, he just speaks, like, his Southern dialect fully. And it takes me, I say what, like 3 or 4 times before I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get what you're saying. So, but like that's a very small percentage of Thai people here. Maybe they didn't finish school. Maybe they had to work for their family or so, things happen. So they didn't really get a chance to learn the central language.
Okay, cool. So from that, I'm trying to think of a way to transition out of talking into fighting again. Yo, let's just go punching people. Touchdown. Now, Jerry Rice. But from that, so you being here, fighting on one, your ideal goal is to be a stadium champion at one of the big stadiums. So far, because how many fights you have? About 50, right?
51, yeah.
51. Out of the 51 fights, which one was the one that you prepared the most for but had the quickest result? Which one was the one that you prepared the least for but had the not necessarily the worst result, but like you had a great result but it wasn't what you wanted it to be, and you because of you preparing less, not because you didn't want to train anything like that, but let's say sickness, stuff happens. But like which of those two? So which fights are those? Like which one is the one that you prepared the least? I mean the most for, but it was like. And the one that you prepared the least for, but it was like a war.
Yeah. So, my fight that I prepared the most for... Quickest. I'd probably say it was probably like my third fight in Isan. Because my second fight in Isan, I lost. A really tough fight. I fought a really good guy, which is nice. And then my third fight, I mean, it was only 8 days later.
Yeah.
But I trained like crazy hard because damn, I felt like that second fight, it was like so close, I was so close to like making him quit. So I trained super hard for this fight and was like really motivated to win. And then that fight, my opponent backed out at like in Isan, when you fight in Isan, it's literally they bring you up to each other and they're like, okay, you guys look about the same, okay, you two fight. So that's what happens. He's like, okay, you two take off your shirts, and we took off our shirts. And he's like, okay, you guys look about the same weight. You guys go fight. So we got oiled up, And the guy, actually, before I even saw the guy, I saw him walk past me, and I thought in my brain, I hope that's not my opponent.
Yeah.
That dude looks built. His calves were so big, I could see his muscles through his shirt. I saw him, I was like, damn, I hope that's not my opponent. He looks big. And then we were getting oiled up, ready to fight, and I was walking to the ring to fight. And like everybody stopped, and like there was this big commotion, and my opponent, he didn't want to fight. He was scared. He saw me and was like, "No, I'm not fighting." So Lamnamun, my trainer at the time, went over and was like yelling at this kid, probably cussing him out, like
all types of
you piece of crap. This dude is a foreigner. You scared to fight him? Blah blah blah.
For your family.
Yeah. So like after some time, all the people who came to gamble on fights came, and it was like checking my muscles, pinching my skin, like they really wanted to see me fight. And then some dude who was like drinking with his friends just like set his beer down and took off his shirt and was like, I'll fight him. Everybody started cheering, and then like it was second round, I just like kicked him in the head and knocked him out. I looking back, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because shout out to that dude
for stepping up,
taking one for
the culture.
Yeah,
that was for the culture. He did it for the culture. I think You know, now that you say that, when you speak about Isan fights, as far as like those festival fights where it's literally just take your shirts off and just stand and look at each other, like my experience was the same. Where you just pull up to the fight, you don't know who you fighting. It's just take your stuff off. You take your stuff off, and he had to stand there just waiting for some random person to come by, and then they stare you up and down. They're like, okay, we good.
Yeah.
For like, how do you miss that?
Oh. No. Bro, you drive 4 or 5 hours in the pitch black on a truck in the back. It's freezing cold.
Yeah.
You get to there. It's like, by this time, it's like 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you're not going to fight till 2:30 in the morning.
Nope.
You know, you laying on a mat. There's ants everywhere. You're cold. You're oiled up.
There's sand for some reason.
And you fight for like $60 American. You know, and the gas to get there was like $20 American.
So you gotta pay that.
And then you gotta pay your trainer. So heck no, I don't miss it. I would love to go and be a trainer. Like I think every fighter needs to have that phase, like where they see that's where Muay Thai comes from. That's where Muay Thai is born.
Yeah,
right?
festival
Like,
fights.
Muay Thai is really a poor kid's way to provide for his family and to make something of himself when he doesn't have many other options. So seeing it like that it gives you like a great visual of what Muay Thai really is, you know? Yeah. Not all this lights and cameras and actions that you see on one championship. Right. Everyone just wants to jump to that. But, you know, they don't want to go fight for $10.
That's true. Isan fights are fire.
Yeah. And they're fire. You'll see like an 84-year-old dude versus a 76-year-old dude. And
they'll go at it.
And they'll go at it, and it'll be great.
Yeah, I think the greatest thing I saw when I was at Isan was we went to a fight. I wasn't fighting. I was just there just to watch. It was a festival day. I think it was like a Monday, and one of the boys was fighting, and one of the foreigners, she was fighting, so they was tending to her and getting her ready for her fight, and they were cornering her, and people had to, he had to get his hands wrapped. I'm like, oh shit, like who's gonna wrap his hands? He just sat down on the mat, broke out the stuff, and started wrapping his own hands. I'm like, that's gangster.
That's a man.
Yeah, like that. Like he was like couldn't be no more than like 12, just wrapping his hands. I'm like, I can't do that. Like he just wrapped his hands, warmed himself up, oiled himself down, pep talked himself. Like he got himself ready to go, and then had he didn't end up winning his fight, but he had a really good fight. But I was just like, I admired that. That was very admirable. Like that whole situation. But I would say, yeah, to your point, that Isan, like those festival fights, that is what I do love about Thai. It's like that, the grit of it all. Yes. Like it's very not habit forming. It's very like character forming and character building when you see like, yo, these people are doing this because they need to do this, not because they want to do this, and that changes everything. Yeah, and I think that kind of attitude is pretty much the whole face of like Thailand. Because I would say in comparison, like, how do you feel about like where America is trying to go, or the West period trying to go with Thai and stuff now?
I think it's more of a like America, we're just not coming from the same place. And granted, we don't need to come from that same place.
Right.
Love that we're doing this because we need to. Right. We're coming from a place of we're doing this because we love to. Like, when I first came here, and people were like, "What? You worked this job in USA, and you had your own apartment, you had your own car. Why are you back here in like, why are you doing this poor?
Why are you hustling backwards?"
Yeah, they think you're hustling backwards doing this, and I'm like, no, I'm doing it because I love it. Us in America, we've reached the point to where we're not doing things because we need to do them anymore, right? Like, yeah. I mean, for a lot of us, I'm blessed enough that I'm not living my life from a place of what do I need to do to survive? What do I need to do? I'm living my life from a place of like, honestly, right now I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Like I'm taken care of enough to where I'm not living for myself anymore. Right. Even when I fight and I make money, like, I'm giving a lot of the money to different places. Right. So I think Muay Thai in America, we're coming from a place of like we're doing it because we love it, rather than we're doing it because I need to feed my mom and I need to feed my brothers and sisters.
Right. I think that place of the love and the need, I think that those two things can both coexist. But I think, like, for me, from what I've seen personally, like with Thai here in comparison to back home, it's into the point of like talking about one, like that whole glitz and grits. I mean, the whole glitz and glamour thing is like what kind of disenchants me about some of the stuff. Not the sport, but like the culture of it. It's like, yo, you can just chill out. Like one of the things I told some of the guys back home because they asked me how I was here. I was like, I like the fact that I can just go train and it just be sweaty and quiet. That's not pause, but it's just like, but it's just we training and that's it. We talk after, but like it's not like a bunch of stuff. Like granted there'll be people taking pictures, video, whatever, because you got to sell the gym. I get it, but like that's not the point though. Like you get what I'm saying? Like the point is to get better. Like when I can walk by and hear people hitting pads or like doing jiu-jitsu or even CrossFit or all those things, but they're all there for one central reason. And like everybody is moving on the same, regardless of the level, everybody's moving on the same beat, that's under the same drum. I like that. I feel like back in the States, it's that in pockets. Like everybody isn't on the same type of time, and then some of the times, if they are, it's like you're doing too much. Like again, like the glitz and glam of it all. It's like no, it's a grind. Like you should embrace the grind, and while embracing the grind, just be humble through that process. I feel like that here definitely has that, and you understanding that and like figuring out for yourself, like, okay, why am I doing this? Like, okay, I'm a vessel, I'm figuring this out, I'm helping out my family, supporting whoever I need to support and whatnot. And I know, like, as far as like your personal goal, like I want to get this stadium title, so I have to keep doing this. There's no I can slack. I know what I got to do. So do you have any fights coming up?
Yeah, I will fight next month on the 7th, June 7th. At Racha Damner versus Mohawk from PK Sanchai.
You fought him before?
Yeah, I fought Mohawk in December last year. I lost to him on points. I'm pretty sure I was drugged this fight because I was like peeing every 5 minutes and I was cramping before the fight, and I don't really cut weight anymore. So I had had not a really good fight. You can watch it on my YouTube. And
YouTube plug.
Yeah, Jalil Barnes, just look it up on YouTube. It's probably fight number 48, I think, 47.
So, go ahead.
And I'll fight him on the 7th June. And yeah, I'm really excited to get this fight back. I'll probably come in as the underdog, so if you gamble, you can bet on me, and you probably make some nice money.
So speaking of that, because I don't want to keep you here all day, the culture of Thai, like the drugging part, what's that about?
So, a lot of times in America, I mean, even I thought this, Muay Thai is about respect. Muay Thai is about, like, it's about heart. Nah. Muay Thai is about money, right? The reason why these guys can make money for their family is because all these people are gambling on these fights, right? No, a lot of people aren't buying tickets anymore. It's not like back in the day when you used to watch in the 80s and 90s, people were coming from Phuket driving all the way to Raja to go watch Sanchai fight, right? Oof. So the stadium was packed. Ticket buyers. Now people can watch on TV, watch on YouTube, but they're still gamblers. They're still people who want to put money on fighters because they think they're going to win, and then they get paid out. A lot of people, this is their job. For a lot of Thai gamblers, their job is to gamble on Muay Thai fights. They're like specialists, So, and of course, wherever there's big money, right, there's going to be some risk. And a lot of people, sometimes fighters will get bribed to take a fall, right? Yeah. Say, Andre, your next fight, you're the, not the underdog, what's the other one?
Oh, the favorite.
You're the favorite by a lot, right? So I'm going to bet money on your opponent to win. And when he hits you in the 4th round, you just fall. And then I'll split half of the money I win with you, right? And you're going to make like more than you'd make in 2 years of fighting.
Right.
Right? So this is how people will like try to manipulate the system. Another way is, okay, Andre, you're fighting this guy, you're the favorite, but I don't really have, this guy's really strong, he's a really strong puncher, so we're going to, we're going to just shoot something in the water bottles at the stadium. We're going to have someone shoot something in the water bottles at the stadium. Don't drink it. If he drinks it, it's not like a dangerous thing. He's just gonna pee a lot, and he's just not gonna have power. You know, he's gonna be a bit dehydrated,
a little bit tired.
Yeah, but sometimes it even gets worse than that. Like if you guys know Sangmani, one of his fight names is the man who doesn't die from horse poison, right? Because for one of his really big fights, someone gave him horse poison. He was
$1 million baby.
Almost died, bro, from this. So it's like it's a dirty game sometimes when money's involved, and I feel like that's for many sports.
Yeah, I think that that's wild. Like the fact that because the sport, I mean, in and of itself, it was created as it's a cultural thing. Like it's a part of the fabric of Thailand. It's like America with baseball.
Yeah.
But America with baseball, you have steroids. You got like the Mark McGuire's and the Sammy Sosa's and whatnot. But to subject a fighter to that, at the end of the day, the most beautiful thing about fighting, and also the scariest thing about fighting, is that it is a complete and utter expression of you while you're competing. And to the world, regardless of if you win or if you lose, it's a complete and utter expression of yourself within that moment. And in that moment, if you're putting somebody in a position where they're compromised, in a situation where you could also die, like if somebody hits you wrong, that could be it. You could slip just going to the ring. So to subject somebody to that is just wild. So for your next fight, just make sure you bring all sealed bottles of water.
Yeah. Just don't drink anything at the stadiums. Make sure the person who does your IV is like someone you trust. Even though, really, if you're a foreigner, there's not a lot of Thai people you can trust, honestly. Like, if we're going to talk, like, honestly, there's not a lot of Thai people at stadiums where you can honestly trust them and say they're going to look out for my best benefit, you know? Because in this country, it's more of like a this country first type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Thai first type country. So.
Yeah. So not to hold you all the way, pause, but one of the last things I wanted to ask is, if I'm not mistaken, Buggies was talking about Thai being in the Olympics, but not, I mean, we're being recognized, but it's not in the Olympics yet. And when he told me that, I immediately started laughing because I'm like, I highly doubt that Thai people are about to let anybody that's not Thai win. Like they're bringing, because even their greatest fighters who are close to retirement age are like 24. So like, I don't see any other country beating them. Like realistically, I see some good fights maybe out of like Brazil, maybe out of like parts of Europe. You know, maybe some Americans, like including yourself, but like I don't see any foreigners realistically, and without the drugging, I don't see any foreigners winning. How do you feel about like I am happy about it, but how do you feel about Thai possibly being in the Olympics?
I think that if it is Olympic sport, like with how IFMA has been doing with their scoring system and the way it's not IFMA rules is not 5-round stadium rules, right? Like. This is why if you look at the IFMA, there are many other countries winning gold that aren't Thailand.
Yeah.
But if you look into the stadiums, there's not many foreigners who are getting to a high level in the stadiums because they don't understand that game yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of, there's like almost like a bit of a gatekeeping thing in the stadiums of you kind of have to understand Thai and you have to understand gambling to be good in the stadiums. But there's no gambling and it's more of like if I punch you in the head and you kick me in the leg, we're even. It's 1-1, right?
Right.
Because you hit and I hit. So it's more of a just hit.
Hurt him!
Whoever hits more is going to win, you know? So if it goes into the Olympics, I think it'll be more like that because they want to make it appeal to the masses. Right? They're not going to have like gambling and they're not going to have it in the stadiums because a lot of people aren't going to understand. So I think that it'll probably be okay. Yeah, Thailand will probably get the most medals, but I think some weights, like there's going to be heavyweights where Thailand has no bodies.
No, literally no.
Ties don't grow that much.
No, you're about to find like a 250-pound Thai person. If you do, then you should run.
Yeah,
because that's not a Thai person.
Yeah, well, but I also think America is catching up onto that IFMA style. So America could do pretty well, and especially if it goes to the Olympics, I think America will like put a better foot forward to try to.
Yeah, the reason why I asked you that, and like I said, I'm just not trying to hold you all day, pause, but it's because there's a video that's been like surfing. I mean, that's been floating around from that Fairtech. One of the guys who started Fairtech, so we was talking about like Thais are losing their grasp on Muay Thai because a lot of the foreigners are starting to take it way more serious, and a lot of the Thais are starting to play the game of, well, still playing that game of, oh, it's just flying, I'm not gonna train that hard. Oh, I'll train the week of, or I'll do this, that, and the third. So that's why I was like wondering like how you felt about that.
Yeah, because I think with Thailand, remember, Muay Thai was a poor man's way of creating a name for himself and providing for his family, or a poor woman's way. And as like most second, I don't know if Thailand is a second world country or a developing country. It's developing more, right. So less people have to do Muay Thai to provide for their families. There's
right.
more other, many other, but there's more opportunities for them. So it's I don't need to do Muay Thai now. I can drive Grab and do like Grab delivery for food. It's like their Uber food and Uber stuff. So. Yeah. There's more opportunities. There's less of that. Damn, this is my one way that I'm gonna do it, and
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, man. And just generations get softer. Like.
True.
Generations get softer as the country gets better, and then that soft generation's gonna make things go bad, and then generations gonna have to be tough again.
Yeah, I think that comes with with the evolution of things, because at the end of the day, as humans, we're just here to make life easier for ourselves. We kind of forget that part. Mm-hmm. But that's the point. It's supposed to be easier.
Yes.
But then we forget that it's supposed to be easier, but then we also forget that even though it's supposed to be easier, we're still supposed to be prepared for if shit hits the fan.
Yes.
So like that's why you can have, like, for instance, we were speaking about Lamnamo, who's like one of the legendary fighter vampire needs. He's in Singapore still. Yeah. But he one of those videos he was being interviewed about like getting a concussion or being knocked out before. He's like, I never had a concussion. Like, fam, I've watched your fights.
You've had a few.
You've had a few, but he just don't think he had, because he's still perfectly fine. And if you see him walking around, he was like a regular Thai dude. That you look at his legs, you're like, oh, yeah, you do violence like a lot. You violence people a lot. But yeah, with all that being said, I appreciate you, being my first interview.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate. I'm super happy for you. Wanted to tell you that, on camera, so that way everybody knows I said it.
We have
video footage. Even if the video's messed up, it's still recorded. But and I definitely want to be there when you fight in the stadium, because seeing the stadiums is super sweet. Like, cause I want to fight at one, but to know where you started at, to see your growth up to now, to know like. And especially the weight that you fight at, that definitely can happen within like the next year at least. Amazing. Yeah. Like, that's amazing. And then like I'll come through with all of the bottles sealed, so come through with all the bottles sealed, some IVs on my back.
Like the girlfriend who makes sure her girls don't get roofied, coming with the bottle drink.
Yeah, and I'm holding your arm like, yo, he gotta go fight. He fighting. Sorry. But thank you, bro. Like I said, I can't wait for you to fight at the stadium. I mean, I'm here until next week, Tuesday, and then I come back in like July. But you better not fight at the stadium before I leave. I'll be tight. Like, yo, I can't wait for you to fight in the stadium. Yo, I'm fighting the stadium next week. All right.
Hopefully, let's see. I mean, I'm going back as well, June 17th, so I'll be out there.
Oh yeah, for nationals. But yeah, man, so, thank you. That was, I Cut My Own Hair podcast. This is Jalil Barnes, a.k.a. Green Lotus, b.k.a. J Money.
A.k.a. Bukiala, a.k.a. Black Boy Ben Yisip, a.k.a. Bongla.
All that, a.k.a. Black Man in Thailand.
A.k.a.
I.